Hello, and thank you for watching this video. First off, I want to offer my very sincere condolences for the loss of your loved one. I say this just 2 weeks after my own father has passed. It's tough now, but it will get better. I chose to post this video on how to write and deliver a eulogy, specifically because I've been asked 3 times now in the last year and a bit to do something like this. I found that there was a significant lack of resources online, or that the resources that were there weren't especially relevant to any situation. They seemed really clip art from various magazines or old websites, very dated or just things that just didn't make sense. I chose to post this video, because I wanted to help you in this situation that I had found myself in. Also, I filmed the initial eulogy. I filmed it of my father for family overseas in Scotland who couldn't join us in Vancouver. I initially thought it would just be 3 people plus their children, so my cousins, my 2 aunts, my uncle, and my first cousins in Scotland who would watch the eulogy. I wanted to do it to help them. Within 3 days, however, 1,100 people have watched the video. So it tells me that there's some sort of appetite out there for the style of eulogy that I've started to deliver. So I just wanted to share with you what I've done, which more than a few people have commented that it's helped them find closure in a situation. I just want to reinforce that this is a very emotional time for you, for your loved ones, and for those around who knew the deceased person. It's not something I enjoy at all. The entire process is very draining emotionally. But it's an honor to do it, and it's a skill set that I have, and I hope to help you in your time of need. What I really try to do is keep 3 things in mind. I try to speak to the first row, specifically the spouse, the children. Try to find something relevant to them. Then I find the second row, the siblings, the cousins, the close friends, and then finally the third row and beyond, the extended community. What kind of impact did the deceased have on these various individuals? The important thing is to talk to as many people as possible. People who loved the deceased, people who knew him or her. Ask them questions. Where did she work? Where did they travel? What was important to him? How do you think he'd want to be remembered? What drove you crazy about her? What drove him crazy? So on and so forth. What you'll find is you'll gather a bunch of really interesting stories that you can then start to bring together. A really good question to ask is, how do you think they would want to be remembered? And what you'll find is that the different hats that the individual wore to different people will be reflected back to you. A key part in this process is to take a lot of notes. Just fill up as many sheets of paper as possible. Start to internalize the stories, internalize the emotion, and make the story your own. Because when you do deliver the eulogy, the people gathered must hear the dead person's voice. On a side note, with regards to humor, if you are going to tell a joke, make sure it is a joke that they would have told. I learned this the hard way. What I did during my father's eulogy was share a joke about the Beatles that he had shared many times with me and others. And so what I found was that the cathedral actually chuckled a bit and snickered because chances are they had heard the same joke. So it brought a moment of brevity and levity to the situation. Like I said, you need to find the story and tell the story in their voice. But you also need to find an overarching theme, a general thesis statement or point that you want to make, that you can start it at the beginning, the middle, and the end, and should all have the same story. So I chose, for example, with my father, to talk a lot about faith, the impact that his faith had on him and his loved ones, and chose then to reflect that out, despite his contradictions, reflect that back out. like I said, you need to take a lot of notes. And so I usually start on a yellow piece of paper, 8.5 by 11, and just write pages upon pages of notes. I then begin to edit and condense and bring it onto an index card or an 8.5, 11 that's folded up. I can then find I put it in my suit very easily, and I can pull it out very easily. It helps you bring the story down as well. It's great to have 100 stories, but you're not necessarily going to have time to tell 100 stories. So bring it down to what's appropriate to that person and their life. Don't be afraid to go as long as you need to go, but don't go so long as that people want to leave. When you're delivering the eulogy, you want to make sure, and it's important to practice this, you want to make sure that you slow your speech down, that you speak slower than you think you need to. And really, there's just a couple of reasons for this. One is you might be in a large church or a large hall where there's an echo, and the words will bounce off the walls and off the ceiling, and it will be missed. So slow yourself down to the speed of the echo. The other reason is you want the story of this person's life to sit with the people who have come to pay tribute to him or her. So let the words reach out and sink in. Don't be afraid to use silence as a part of your delivery. If you do happen to get emotional, that's okay. You love this person, or they loved you, or both, or maybe neither. And you're angry about that. That's fair. Let the emotion sit with you, pause, collect yourself, and resume. No one will think any less of you. Finally, a piece of advice I would say that has helped me tremendously, both professionally and personally, is when you're in these situations when you need to either speak on an impromptu basis or you're delivering something corporately, personally, what have you, you want to pick 3 spots in the room. So on the right side, the center, and the left side. And you want to be able to pause and reach out to make eye contact. You don't necessarily need to lock eyes with someone in that corner of the room. However, you'll find that doing this greatly adds to the impact and delivery of what you're doing. Again, I just want to say thank you for watching this. I hope you found it helpful. And again, my sincere condolences for your loss. Please know that my thoughts are with you, as all those who love and support you right now.